First overall, your thoughts on tonight's match and what you saw out there?
Well, it's obviously disappointing to not come out with points here. We obviously close at the end, close to getting a draw, and even maybe the push we made in the second half, maybe 3. But to leave here in a big match, a derby match, with no points is disappointing.
And if I can ask, why the late sub after the goal?
Well, listen, we thought at 0-0 we're making a good push, and if I have to make a change early in the first half, I would do it. At that point, we didn't think the change was needed. We're pushing the game in a good way, and felt like a goal was coming. So when you look at the, let's call it, attacking options that you have, and you say, look, the guys that are on the field are performing well, so why would you change anything? So, of course, you go down a goal. What do you do then? Do you do nothing, or do you just make a push at that point? So I think it was pretty simple at that point why we made the move.
Chris, I know it's a bitter feeling now, but what was your first game in charge like?
I was very comfortable today. I was comfortable in the role, and I think the comfort comes from the group of guys that I'm coaching. Not just that I know them, that there's a respect there, and that I've known these guys, and it's just a certain comfort level that I felt okay with that. I think knowing that we're a good team gives a coach comfort, that you step out in the field, you think you can beat anyone on any given day. So in the role of head coach on the day, yeah, it's a bit different, but I've been in this building before, I've been on that sideline before, making decisions before. They largely felt comfortable.
Chris, we heard the news before the game about Velo being out for the year with the ACL injury. You went with Mule today. Why the decision to go with Mule, maybe over someone like Derek Etienne?
Derek's done great. He's been a good player for us, and we know he can make plays, and we've relied on him many times. It's unfortunate that Flo got injured. There's never good timing with the ACL. I know this well. But specifically with Alex, I thought he played great today. I thought he had energy, but thinking about what type of game this was going to be. It's almost like he could be the first guy you think about starting. Second balls, combative. I don't know, New York City, I think one of the last games was 700 passes. How many did they have today? 300, 350? So it was going to be a combative game. So I thought it was an easy selection. I thought we got that one right, and I thought he had a good game.
Coach, obviously we found out about the Florian news. Franco just mentioned it. Can you just speak about, obviously you took over this week, was that your first practice in charge when the injury happened? And if you spoke to him, what was your message to him after he found out about the severity of the injury?
That was the first session. What I said to him after, it's your heart breaks for a player. He's an important player. He's established himself as a dynamic attacker in this league. We can see that he's elegant on the ball, and he plays like a 10.5 for us. He's comfortable on the ball, brings ideas. So I reached out to him that night, the next day, talked to him a few times, and just you offer comfort. And you tell him with confidence, you're coming back strong. I've been there, I've done that. Some of my best soccer was after ACL injury, so he'll come back. He's a strong player physically, and mentally he's rock solid.
Chris, offensively, it just seems like you had a lot of flow tonight. Was that more on your end, or was that what they were doing to muddy it up a little bit?
Yeah, look, again here. We had 320 passes. They had 376. There's really no flow to that game tonight. We actually, I thought in the second half, had a little bit of flow to it. And we had guys with courage and holding the ball and moving and wanting the ball. And then on a field that's tight, and then it's not always easy to want the ball. So, look, I was pleased with the second half. But I think you realize that against good teams, you can't maybe waste a half. Because we knew you had to bring the energy and bring Red Bull football from the beginning.
Chris, obviously NYCFC through the years under Patrick was very committed to building out of the back. Tonight they seem more willing to kind of bypass and play the long ball. Did you kind of expect that? That surprised you a bit? And how much did that help them dealing with your press? Because it seemed like today you guys weren't able to kind of frustrate them like you have in other games this year.
To be honest, there's no real surprise with what they did. You are coming into the game. Is David healthy? Do you think Brigitte's out there? Like, there's certain things you might expect, but in terms of what they might try to do, we've seen how they build out the back. They see how they, their time and space on the ball gives them a chance to have some rotations with some of the players, and we know we can disrupt that. So I think on their part to bypass it, we knew that would come. So is it a day for our pressing? Is it a day for second balls? We're wired for both. So yeah, we knew that we might see direct play. We talked about it. We game planned for that, and we knew that big switches would be a part of it too, which we saw. So I thought we got a good handle on that in the second half.
Chris, after the result tonight, has this become a little bit of a three-horse race in the Eastern Conference with you, New York City, and Atlanta?
Yeah, it's. I think it's still early. There's teams on our heels. Columbus. There's teams there that you put together a few wins, and they're right there again. And if you drop too many points, you realize that you get caught in that pack. So, not I know it was a big game in terms of points today, right? It's right there in the standings. 1 point separate us. So yeah, we're looking ahead. We're looking now up at New York City and Atlanta. So, lot to play for, obviously.
Chris, two for you. What did you learn from these last few days in this first game in charge tonight? What did you take away? What did you learn during the build-up for this, the game plan, game management? What did you learn in these last few days?
Look, I think every session, maybe a player feels like can he improve, get better. In every session and game, a coach can take things and learn. So, in the last few days, it wasn't really about a learning experience for me. It was about getting a hold of the team and stepping into a leadership role and establishing myself in a different way with the players. So in the last few days, I realized that I'm real comfortable in that spot. Learned that about myself, that it's not just that I'm a good guy around the team. Like, you step into a role, leadership role, there's respect, but then, how do you do with that? So that was part of it. And on a day like today in the game, yeah, I mean, it was to a question earlier, do you make a sub late? We thought we were very clear what we thought. So, managing games, you come in with scenarios and, not so much a learning thing, but just a good experience.
Just an unrelated follow-up. Why didn't we see Barrio start today? He's been the starter at right back before he went for the World Cup. He's back now. He's on the bench today. Why didn't we see him today?
Amir's, we think highly of him. He's obviously a good player. Just came from the World Cup, Panama, obviously, and got some great experiences over there. In the meantime, Connor Lade has stepped in and it's been sharp. And, before Connor Lade's injury a couple years ago, he was one of our better performers, and he looks more like that form right now. So, wasn't an easy one. That one wasn't an easy one. You take these decisions, and actually I thought he was tasked with a big one today, right? It was not easy matchup, so I thought he passed in a good way.
As far as Aaron Long goes, obviously this year he's been one of the best defenders in the league, maybe best 11 caliber. Obviously a play like that can happen. What do you say to him after like that? What do you thought about him tonight?
Aaron, I think, is going to be a national team player. I think, people are starting to realize that, and game in and game out, he's tasked with a big one, dealing with clever forwards, fast forwards, guys tonight that dip underneath. He keeps getting better, keeps improving. He's a competitor, he's a winner. We're lucky to have Aaron. He puts out so many fires for our team that most times you just appreciate the work he does. And even tonight, he was solid.
Thanks, Chris.